There we go.
Hey!
Hey! Your enthusiasm.
Delayed reaction.
Yay!
All right, cool. It's 2022.
It is. It's a whole new year.
Yay.
Feels just like the same year I ended. But it
Same as the old year.
Same old shit. Whatever. So yeah, we haven't done a video on here in a while. I started to post part of a sketch show that we did, but then I put it in wrong order, so I'll do that later. It takes a long time.
So what's this video of?
Well, just cut me right off there.
No. What's this? Yeah. So that leads us into...
That leads us into a video for this channel, which is about we're going to do a top 15 movies, and the way we're doing this is basically like movies that we saw together, with the exception of one on my list that I liked enough that I put it on my list. But basically we just ranked them in order of, enjoyment level or whatever the case.
Yeah. I
some of them were in the theater, some of them were at home.
Thank you, streaming.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel for me it's mainly enjoyment factor. More than anything else, because it's been like I feel like ever since the pandemic hit, that's just where we've been in terms of how we judge things. Does this spark joy? Thumbs up.
Pretty much. Yeah, like if I enjoyed it, then it's like it's kind of like you're not going to see a lot of movies on here where it's like, oh, that movie's going to get Oscars or something. It's like, I don't really care about Oscars.
We did not see any Oscar bait yet. So
Oscar bait. We didn't see that Oscar bait shit. We didn't do these movies.
It's not all shit. It's not all.
It's not. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, we've each compiled our own lists.
Yeah. Neither of us has seen these lists.
Right.
It's a secret.
Yeah. So
very much like when we did our vampire movies list.
Yeah. So we'll just start at the bottom and work our way to the top and just back and forth.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Exactly. And of course, my top two, it was a very neck and neck with each other. So.
All right. So I'll let you go first since you have one extra than I do.
I really don't have. You have 15, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I have 15 as well.
Oh, I thought you had 16.
No, I left one off.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Put one in that one.
All right. Well, regardless, you can go first. Okay. Number 15.
My 15 would be a movie with Amy Adams that was called Woman in the Window. It was on Netflix. It was pretty good. We watched it, and that was a while ago, man.
It was a long time ago.
It was so long ago, but it was. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was well acted.
It's fun. This is also my number 15. Oh.
Whoa! Then you can talk about it too, because we're the same 15. Great minds think alike.
Yeah. This is a movie that did not resonate with a lot of people.
A lot of people didn't like it for some reason.
I think it's because it is very, like, it's over the it's campy in an over the top sense, but it's not over the top enough to be like, that's camp. Yeah. It kind of rides the line, and I think for a lot of people that it was just like either be more subtle or be total camp. Pick one.
People can't find balance.
Well, the movie. Didn't really.
Well, I mean, I can see the criticism. Like it's pretty obvious, how that ends and stuff like that. Kind of, you can kind of see it coming somewhat. But I don't know. I for a movie that we just watched at home on a night, we kind of thought it was a solid film. For a Netflix film.
Yeah, I didn't understand the vitriolic backlash against it.
It's not a terrible movie.
Yeah,
There's a lot worse movies on streaming.
Yeah, it's not great. It's just not. It's not bad. It's just there. It's
yeah. I agree.
I don't regret watching it. I just probably would never watch it again.
No, it's pretty much a one watch.
Yeah. Which is fine.
And that's fine. I think there's some movies that are like that, and some aren't. All right.
Number 14.
14.
Oh, I think I did that. I think it's gonna flip. 14. We'll find out.
That's 7.
And 7.
Well, you put 1,
4.
Whatever. Anyway. Numbers are hard for me these days.
It's been a long year. Number 14.
One whole day long. Anyway. I put Raya and the Last Dragon because we watched that on Disney Plus. It's a decent movie. I know there's a lot of people who like, compared it a lot to Avatar: Last Airbender and stuff. And that's fine. I think it's good to definitely see some influence on there, and that's fine. I don't think you should be bullied off of YouTube for it, but for those of you who've heard about that whole thing,
yeah, Jesus Christ,
you just criticize it, you shouldn't do that. But no, it's a well done animated film. Yeah. It's a fun film. I thought it was pretty good, and that's why I put it on 14. I'm not a huge I don't watch tons of animated movies anymore. I mean, most of the animated I watch is I haven't talked about this before, but it's like it's like I watch South Park, and then that's about it, really.
Yeah.
In terms of I never go out of my way to see, unless it's something else like people were saying, like Coco, that was pretty good, but but I mean, a lot of the Pixar stuff was pretty good. So. Yeah. But so
I want to see Encanto at some point. Spoilers: Encanto is not on this list because we did not see it in 2021.
Yeah, there's some stuff we didn't see. Like you won't see The Matrix on this list either. We didn't watch it so far. We were just kind of I don't know. It was one of those things. At first I was interested, and then I just heard more things.
We'll probably watch it at some point. But
but it's not like one of those man. You know.
So your number 14 is Raya and the Last Dragon.
That is correct.
All right. So you're probably gonna kill me. My number 14 is Halloween Kills. That face. I did not. Okay, so to clarify, it did not make this ranking for me because it's a bad film.
Yeah.
It's a fun film. If you're going into a slasher movie looking for those creative kills. Halloween Kills delivers, definitely, in that regard. For me, the reason it made this, it's probably the only movie I watched this year that felt like a letdown to me. That's why it made this list. And the reason it felt like a letdown is that it has bridge movie-itis. It's very obviously that bridge movie in a trilogy that connects the first movie to the last movie. And it's a necessary thing, but it often feels like something that doesn't really stand on its own. And I feel for me, Halloween Kills kind of feels like that. There's definitely cool parts in it. Again, the kills are great. Anthony Michael Hall is awesome as Tommy. Mm-hmm. There's some really cool character stuff in it. I really appreciate it. One of the things Halloween 2018 did so well is that it really humanizes all of these characters and makes you care about them, and gets into trauma without being all this is a movie about trauma. And Halloween Kills does that again. But it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't do it as much. And then there's this whole subplot at the hospital. That could have just cut right out of there and you would have lost nothing. So that's why that landed there for me. I didn't hate it. I still liked it.
You're a hater! No, it's not. I'll talk about when I get to it. But.
That's fine. All right, so that's my number 14, Halloween Kills.
Okay, whatever.
All right, so number 13.
Conjuring 3, or Conjuring, don't mind me do it.
Okay.
Well, that was a solid film. I don't think it was quite as good as the first two.
I would agree.
Story. But I did like the overall plot of it and stuff like that. I thought it was an interesting way with the guy being on trial and stuff like that. And them tying it into the devil and witchcraft and stuff like that. So it was another one of those enjoyable at home movies. I probably wouldn't have gone to see it in the theater really, but it was fun to watch on HBO Max, and I thought it was well acted and stuff. So. Yeah. And we made a little parody out of it on our channel, so I did a sketch about it, so that was fun at least. So it served its purpose that way. Cool. That's my 13.
All right, my number 13 is Venom: Let There Be Carnage. It's a fun movie. I think I'm kind of surprised that I have it ranked lower than you did, because I think I liked it better than you did. But it is not something I would have seen in theaters. Pretty much that was your birthday movie, right?
I think so.
Yeah. That's the only reason we saw it in theaters. But it's a fun movie. The special effects for Carnage and Venom look awesome. Woody Harrelson is perfect as Cletus. there's a lot going for it. It's very silly, which again, I went in. I think the reason this got ranked higher than Halloween Kills is because I went into Venom Let There Be Carnage with like no expectations, and it was like, oh, that was fun. And my expectations for Halloween Kills were higher, but yeah, like it's a fun film.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. My number 12 was actually Venom Let There Be Carnage. To go off on your point, I actually came in with higher expectations.
Yes, you did.
And was let down. It wasn't bad, but like it was just. I mean, it's a Sony universe movie, so like I went into the first movie with like low expectations and actually enjoyed myself. And then this one, I was like, well, freaking Carnage, cool. But the problem with the Carnage stuff, too, though, is that, like, I don't care so much if you do rated R or PG-13, but when a character like Carnage, you really need to be rated R.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel like a lot of the effects were good, and Woody Harrelson was fine and all that. I feel like there was just, like, it's kind of like, it's like making a PG-13 Punisher movie. It's like, it's the fucking Punisher. You know, his whole fucking point is, he's killing people. I mean, that's basically, I mean, you have to treat it like a slasher film, essentially. You know, and Carnage is a serial killer. So, I mean, the Cletus is, but yeah, I mean, so to me, it's like, while there were some cool effects, it just felt like they had to tame it down somewhat. And then just kind of the way, and it was just, I mean, yeah, the after credits scene was cool, but like, beyond that, it's just kind of like, okay. I mean, there were some fun moments here and there, but it felt too much. To me, and also because you didn't see the first movie, so to me it felt a little bit too much like a little bit of a retread in the first movie, the relationship between him and Venom, because it was just kind of like, I felt like we already had them doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, okay.
Like the bickering roommates, and then the
breakup,
and then coming back together.
Yeah, which is fine to a point, but it just kind of like felt a little too repetitive to me. Okay. It wasn't anything wrong. It wasn't anything horrible about it. I didn't walk out of the theater enraged. It wasn't like that.
No,
but it was just one of those like, well, that could have been better. So yeah, hopefully we'll get more Carnage in the future. And
yeah.
Of course, but the problem is too, then you have, you know, if they bring him into the MCU, it's just like, you have the same problem because it's Disney and they seem scared to do R-rated movies too. Yep. So anyway.
All right, so your number 12 was Venom.
Yeah.
My number 12 was Conjuring 3: The Devil Made Me Do It. Yes, my number 12. Yes.
Fair. Yeah, that's 12.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, it's funny because it's flipped for us. Yeah. Again, not as good. Kind of like just piggybacking on what you said. Not as good as the first two Conjuring movies, but still fun. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga still have a lot of cool chemistry together. I still like these films. Just not as good. That's all. Number 11.
Number 11. All right. This is more of a trilogy, but so I just kind of put them all together. It would be the Fear Street trilogy that was on Netflix this year, which they all three together come together in a well-made slasher trilogy.
This is also my number 11.
Well, look at that. How about that? So yeah, it's really, like I said, it was on Netflix, so you didn't have to go to see it in the theaters or nothing like that. But
yeah.
But it was like released in like a 3-week period, so you have, and then they have the trailer for the next one.
Yeah, like it builds the suspense.
So it's from a book by book series by
R.L. Stein.
R.L. Stein.
And we've talked about it on
here we have. There's a video on here.
Yes, we've done a full review of this.
So we
before.
won't go into full review thing. Yeah, but like but it's a well-made, very well-made story, and it's a lot of fun. Good characters, all that stuff. So check that out if you haven't.
Yeah.
Cool.
Number 10.
We're at the top 10 now. All right, cool. Well, I had Halloween Kills as number 10. And let me say my points of view.
Sure.
On this. Okay. Now, what you were talking about with the hospital plot, I can agree to a point there. In terms of like, that's Michael Myers. It's like that's
clearly not Michael Myers.
Yeah. And then just kind of the repetitive, evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. It's like, what the fuck? No, but it was like, I did see a thing where like, and God bless Jamie Lee Curtis and all that, but like where she was saying that this movie was a response to the January 6th insurrection. I'm like, It's really not at all. I really don't think. I mean, outside of the mob mentality, it's...
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely something to be said about, like, the harms that mob mentality can cause.
But I really don't think that ties in at all to this story. No, I thought it was good. It was cool. They brought a lot of the characters back, like Lonnie and stuff like that. And you said you actually... What I liked about it, one thing I do like about it, and I did like about the other one, is that they've actually made you care about these characters before something happens to them, they die or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't just feel like, hi, I'm an asshole and you can't wait for me to die, like a lot of these. So yes, it's a second movie in a trilogy and stuff like that. But I went in knowing that, so I didn't sit there and... Some people will like to complain about this being in the middle of the range, but oh hi, and I was like, no, no, because I know that, because that's the thing. I understand that, like, when you go into something to basically be a trilogy, you're going to have that middle movie.
In that but there's a way to handle it.
There is.
Like, Empire Strikes Back doesn't have bridge movie-itis, for example.
True. But, anyway, the point was where we enjoyed the film, and I enjoyed the film.
Cool.
So, I mean, I'm hoping the third one will be a good wrap-up.
Yes.
And will be better and be the best of the trilogy, hopefully. But, yeah, but overall I thought it was, the kills were good. There was some good humor in there throughout, but like not to an overboardness to it. And no, I don't think Michael Myers is homophobic. Like some crazy people like to say. Anyway, your turn.
Okay. My number 10 is Cry Macho.
Okay.
Cry Macho was the latest offering of Clint Eastwood, who is 91 years old.
Right.
And that movie came out earlier this year. That was our belated Christmas present, not belated Christmas
anniversary
present, belated anniversary present to your parents when we went to go visit them.
Yeah.
And Clint Eastwood is 91 years old. Holy crap. Yeah. And he looks 91 years old. It's the first time I've ever seen him in a film. It's all like, oh my gosh, this fragile old man.
And it's the way he moves in it is very
his voice has gotten really like gravelly and everything, and he plays into it, and it's a sweet, quiet little movie. A lot funnier than I expected it to be.
Oh yeah.
And about him sort of like quasi adopting this kid. As he's trying to get him across the border, and their pet rooster, who is the macho of the title, and it's surprisingly sweet. I did not go into that movie expecting it to be as funny and as sweet as it was, and that was a really sweet, nice surprise. It's a nice little film.
Yeah. Cool.
Number 9.
That was my number 9, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, so I reiterate what was said there. I mean the rooster's really funny. But yeah, again, Clint Eastwood and the relationship with him and the boy is really well acted and stuff like that. And Dwight Yoakam plays the boy's father. He's trying to get him to Texas, I think is where they were.
Yeah.
And then he's got a mom that's kind of into like. Not so good at dealings. I guess the word I could say for that. Not so good at dealings. That's totally.
She's kind of nuts.
She's a little crazy, yeah. But then he has a relationship with this woman that he meets too. Clint Eastwood does, and it's a sweet movie. It's had some good humor to it. Had some good heart to it. So yeah, it's a fun time. My parents really enjoyed it as well.
Cool. My number 9 is Black Widow. Which we have reviewed before on this channel, so I won't go into a huge thing about it. All I'll say is it's a movie that I enjoyed. It came out about 5 years too late.
Pretty much.
Which really hurts the film overall in terms of its reception, and it's why it's so low.
Fair enough.
Yep.
My number 8.
8.
That's where we're at.
Number 8.
My number 8 was Godzilla vs. Kong, which I actually watched without Anna because she had gone to sleep already.
Yeah.
I want to watch this shit, so I'll be the only one talking about this movie.
All right.
So I will say this, like, in terms of this movie, if you saw the other Godzillas, I mean, it's similar in vein in terms of like the human characters just kind of being there, or doing really stupid things here and there, you know, where you're just like, you're really there to see the monsters, and they do a really good job of it. Like I think that the way they, because sometimes CGI or computer, whatever the case, can look really bad. But no, like the way Khan looked, he looked so realistic and stuff, and Godzilla and their fight is what. It's funny, like it's sort of like Batman versus Superman, but better, because it's Godzilla and King Kong. But no, I thought all the fights and all the stuff like that was really well done. Some of the human characters were just kind of there, and they were kind of like, it's very much like your typical like 90s or Jurassic Park-y type of thing, where you have the human characters and you're just kind of like, okay, well, that was mildly amusing. Can we get back to the monsters? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where you're just like, I don't really care about you. I'm not here to see you. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of, I think, I think they handled it well, though. It wasn't like the human characters weren't overly annoying. Right. So, but it was, so it was pretty good.
All right. My number 8 is Raya and the Last Dragon. I think my issue with this film is that it would have benefited from being like half an hour longer, because they don't really have a chance to, like, they've built up this world with like these 5 kingdoms, and then you don't really get a chance to explore those kingdoms, and it's where a lot of the comparisons to Avatar: The Last Airbender come from, because it's a fantasy, Asian-based fantasy world of 4 kingdoms, but they were a series. They had plenty of time to explore all those cultures, and Raya is a 90-minute movie, so it doesn't really get a chance to explore its world as much as you would, as an audience member would want it them to. So if it had been like a series or even just a 2-hour movie, I think it would have been better. It would have felt less rushed. Some of the character motivations would have been clearer. But I thought the animation was beautiful. I liked the characters as they were. Again, I would have liked more from them, but I liked them as they were. They were funnier than I was expecting it to be, and the use of color is really beautiful. Like the scenes at the climax where it finally starts to rain, and like the way like the water like rolls down the statue's face and everything is like,
it's cool stuff.
It's a gorgeous looking movie. It just could have benefited with some clear, and from what I understand, like pandemic really wreaked havoc on their production.
As it goes,
but so I'm sure there was things just out of people's control. But like, it's a fun watch.
Indeed. Right on. All right, number 7.
Number 7.
All right, my number 7 was Black Widow.
Okay.
So, not much more to say about it either. It's said, but it was a decent film, but it could have been better, and it could have been a lot sooner. I wish financially it had done better, just because that character does deserve the respect. But shit happens. It's decent, but just and I definitely Yelena's a great character. I'm happy to see her popping up again. So there we go.
Alrighty. So number 7 for me is Justice League, the Snyder cut. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was so cool to. I wound up being way more into it than I thought I would be. Like, oh wow, Zack Snyder's vision, woohoo! No, it's cool to see Zack Snyder's vision. For all of these characters, like everything makes a lot more sense than it did with what we got in 2017. Obviously, it's freaking long. And if you don't want to watch it in one sitting, that's fine. It's broken up into what, 7 different sections?
Four parts.
4 parts, excuse me. So you can watch it like a 4-part miniseries.
Yeah, I think we watch it over.
Which is why I put it where I did, because in that sense it kind of doesn't feel like a conventional film, and I don't think it's meant to. I think it's meant to just
this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, this is not just what he wanted to do with this particular movie, but what he wanted to do with what he was going to do in the DCEU going forward. So it's. I don't think even this was going to be what his version of Justice League would have been in 2017 had he been able to finish it. Yeah. I think this is just him being all like, "Here's all my stuff." And so that's why it's kind of it's not, again, it does not feel like a conventional film. This would not have worked as a theatrical release. It's just this is sort of like the last hurrah, there went my water, of what his ideas were. And honestly, as someone who is personally not a fan of Zack Snyder as a director, his ideas were really good, and I'm glad that this got the release that it deserved. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's cool to see his vision of the characters and where they would have gone.
Right on? Yep. All right, number 6. I had Malignant, which is a horror film by James Wan. So his return to his roots, so to speak.
Yes.
And yeah,
I mean, he never really left.
He didn't. Well, he didn't, but he did Aquaman and stuff like that. So, but it was a non-Conjuring movie, so that was cool. This was one of those movies that Anna didn't have as much expectations for it going in. I thought it looked neat, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to be. So we watched it on HBO Max, and it turned out to be a pretty darn good movie. It's a really well done. You see sort of little twists here and there that happen, and main characters well done. So it's a good modern horror film. It's very fun, weird horror film. I'll get more into it when I get to my ranking.
But very a modern take on crazy Italian horror.
Which he's very influenced by.
Yes.
If you see Insidious.
Yes. So this is number 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your number 6 was Malignant.
Yep.
And mine is In the Heights.
All right. That's the one I left off my list.
Oh, okay.
Not because it was a bad film, but just because I had Godzilla vs. Kong there, and I was like, I'm going to make Godzilla vs. Kong on there.
Fair enough.
I thought it was fine, but,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big musical guy myself.
Gotcha.
Some
I thought the direction on this was really cool. I like the way that it felt like, it's set in the Washington Heights of New York. So it's got kind of that gritty feel of Washington Heights, but they make it feel magical like a musical does. It's got these very golden age of musical Hollywood style dance numbers and everything, and that sort of stepping out of reality to help enhance the music and the emotion that's going on. It's very well done by everyone involved. My issue with the film is my issue with In the Heights in general, which is that it's Lin-Manuel Miranda's first musical, and it feels like his first musical. It's got kind of the rockiness of all and where's the story going? You've established there's a story. What's going on? It kind of meanders around, and which is that's just the nature of the thing, and but that's why I ranked it as low as I did. And number 6 isn't low. No. The music is great.
The music's fun. I said I didn't hate it or nothing like that.
Yeah, the old I'm blanking on the actress's name, but the old lady, the old abuela, she was that was the original Broadway actress originally. Also reviving it for the movie. And that song made me cry buckets. I cried so hard. And so...
Wasn't Jimmy Smits in that too?
Yes, Jimmy Smits was in that.
Jimmy Smits.
As Nina's father.
Love Jimmy Smits.
Yeah. Yeah, so
cool.
In the Heights, my number 6.
Right on. All right,
Number 5.
Number 5, the top 5.
5.
All right. So my number 5 is The Suicide Squad, which is that your 5 too?
That is my number 5 too.
So yeah, this was a fun release. I think the only thing that hurt it was that it got day and day released. So in terms of finances, it didn't do as well.
Right.
But
which is too bad.
It's too bad because it's a fun film. It's very James Gunn's type of movie.
Yeah.
Fun characters that are
definitely better than the first Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, we won't get into that one. But
have we reviewed this one before? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We might have, we might not have. I can't remember. But sometimes we talk about doing a review and then we get tired.
Then we don't.
And then we get tired and we're like, oh yeah, no, we're doing it another week.
We're talking about it now.
Yeah, for this one, there's movies we didn't cover that there are some that we covered, but
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. King Shark,
oh my gosh,
love King Shark.
New dumb friends. Sylvester Stallone in top form.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, and just like all the characters were well done and well acted and stuff like that. Good use of Harley Quinn and stuff like that. So it's Idris Elba was great. So it's like and the Ratcatcher, Polka Dot Man was great.
Yes, they were just like the characters were just so fun and endearing and while also living up to the Suicide Squad name.
Oh yeah.
So it's also pretty brutal. But I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Agreed. Yeah. Definitely check that out.
Yes, because it deserves more love.
Agreed.
Yeah. Number 4.
All right. So my number 4, it's the Zack Snyder Justice League. So I'll give my thoughts now.
Okay.
My thoughts.
Give them.
So yeah, I would agree that like I said, it is very long. But what you get is really well done. Mm-hmm. There are definitely a few parts here and there that you're kind of like, you probably gotta cut that part out, but just little bits here and there. You're like, let's speed it up a little bit there, buddy. I mean, it's Zack Snyder's slow motion. It's
but again, it was more just all like, here's all my ideas.
Yeah.
But
no, I think in terms of like complete difference in the story for Cyborg.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Cyborg gets a lot more focus, as he should.
He really does.
It's really kind of his story in a lot of ways, which compared to the other one where he barely got anything to do.
Oh my gosh.
You get a lot more of the Flash.
No wonder Ray Fisher was so pissed off. He had every right to be.
And the Flash gets a lot more to do too, and it has a lot bigger role as opposed to just shoving someone out of the way. Stupid shit. But and like all
making dumb remarks.
But like in terms of like the action is good. You have Steppenwolf looks 10 times better. You actually understand his motivations.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You even feel bad for him at times with Darkseid and stuff.
Like everything makes more sense in the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. And Superman stuff is handled well, and Wonder Woman is treated like Wonder Woman should be.
Right. Yeah. Batman isn't mansplaining to her and being all like, I don't know, I've never even heard of you. Who are you? I don't know who you are. Because Joss Whedon wanted so bad to put Wonder Woman in her place.
Yeah, and it's just like, which at the same time, it's like, you obviously know who she is because you fucking looked her up in Batman vs. Superman. Jesus fucking Christ, watch a movie.
Jesus.
Anyway, so yeah, it was nice to have that. It was a fun watch. I think it was after I got my first vaccine shot. Yes. We watched it that weekend. So yeah, it was really a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a good thing to be able to just sit down and watch, and you can watch it in parts.
I agree.
But yeah, I thought it was a well handled thing.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind watching it again, honestly.
I would, yeah, I'd watch. I have it on DVD.
We could watch it tonight, or at least part of it.
Yeah, we can watch some. So yeah, definitely check that out. That's my number 4.
Cool. My number 4 is Malignant.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I like James Wan. I am also a big fan of those Dario Argento, very surrealist imagery, sort of mind-fuckery Italian horror films that were really big in like the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
or like that David Cronenberg sort of style of stuff, which this also clearly like was inspired by. Like I went into like I'd seen way too many of the previews for it where it was like treating it as all like, oh, it's an imaginary friend. As oh great, yeah, that hasn't been done to death in horror film. But no, what Malignant actually is like insane. Insane in the membrane. Literally. Like, and I don't want to talk about it too much. But just that this movie was very hard slept on. It deserves a lot more recognition and a lot more love.
Agreed.
Yeah, the twists and turns and the scares, they're stylish. They really pay off, especially since it seems like it was shot on a pretty low budget. But like the way it's handled, like it really pays off. The twist. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Like like when that camera pans around and like everything is revealed. You are either on board for this crazy shit show ride, or you're just all like, "What the fuck?" And that is exactly where you should be with this movie. So I really, really enjoyed 'Malignant, and I would love to see more movies like this. So yes, sure. 'Malignant number 4 for me. All right, we're in the final 3 now. 3 fingers.
I can count. So I have a feeling that our top 3 will probably be very similar. I could be completely wrong about that. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but I have a feeling the top 3 will probably be very similar.
Yes.
All
right.
So my number 3 is Sean Tree. Sean
Tree.
It's about a magical tree.
Yeah. No.
I can talk.
All right.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is my number 3.
Cool.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, you fucked my whole plan up here, Zack. Anyway.
Oh, to talk about everything at the same time?
Yeah. Way to fuck it up.
All right.
Anyway, Shang-Chi.
It was really 2 and 3 were really tough for me to rank.
All right. But yeah, I would definitely say Shang-Chi was
because they were really neck and neck with each other.
Yeah, they're well done movie. Mm-hmm. Did we talk about this one on the channel?
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, it was a very well done film. Good acting in it, and of course, I guess you'll talk about it more when it gets to your ranking.
I guess so.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good MCU film. We watched it again on DVD recently, and it was just as enjoyable the second time. So that's a plus. If you watch an MCU movie the second time and you still love it, that gets rankings. Because some movies you're just like, well, I saw it. What's next?
Yes. So for me, that was part of what I think tipped things in the edge for where my final 3 went.
Okay.
So for me, my final 3, or my number 3 rather, is Ghostbusters Afterlife. We already did a review on this movie. One of the best movies of the year. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't expecting it to be. So it was also, for me, the biggest surprise of the year in terms of film. So
cool.
Good job. I really hope they continue. So.
Yeah, agreed. But that was going to be my number 2.
All right, your number 2 is Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, and it was tough because honestly, before my number 1, this was probably my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
In terms of just like the emotions of it too. Because it was funny and it was fun and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like just the emotional stuff, it made me think about it even afterwards. And I think of a movie, don't worry about that. Just someone messaging or something.
Sorry.
Don't be worried about it. I'm talking.
I'm listening.
Talking emotionally. Ah! Yeah. Anyway, but no, I think if a movie makes you feel that way afterwards, and you're still thinking about it, and you're still getting tears in your eyes when you're telling other people about it.
Yeah.
I think that movie has a lot of heart to it.
It does. It really does.
And to me, I think that's more movies need that, especially if you're going to the movie. And it was a good time in the theater, and that's another important thing. If you're having a good time
it was a lot of fun to see it in the theater.
Yep.
My number 2 is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And again, rewatching it at home with my parents is kind of what tipped it over the edge, where it was just all like, yeah, this is just a really fun movie. Yeah. And it
has one of your favorite actors in it.
It does. So I don't know if I've talked about it much on this channel, but for years and years and years, ever since college, whenever, because like theater kids love to play this game of all like, who are your top 5 favorite actors and top 5 favorite actresses? And Tony Leung Chiu-wai was always in my top 5 actors ever since I was 18 years old. And I would always say it's like, he's such a good actor because he's so specific. And like he, like, you can see so much emotion and thought from his character's perspective just in his eyes. Oh, yeah. Like, you don't, because he is a huge, major movie star in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. And I used to say, like, you don't need to read the subtitles to know what's going on with his character.
Totally.
I mean, you can just like just watch his face and he will tell you the story. Oh, yeah. This was his first Hollywood film, and I was so happy. I'm so happy to see him getting so much love and attention. I know Kevin Feige has said they want to do more with him. I know he's said that he's open to coming back to the MCU. I'm just so happy that he's getting to do Hollywood films that respect him and respect his culture and respect his talent. Sure. And that's just so wonderful to see. The rest of the movie is also massive thumbs up. There is not a weak link in the entire film. Everyone is just top notch. Simu Liu is really good as Shang-Chi. Awkwafina is a lot of fun as Katie. Mm-hmm. I'm blanking on her name. I apologize, but the actress who plays the sister is awesome.
Mm-hmm. She's good in the series on Disney+.
Yay! Cool.
Spoil the 10 Rings more. Yeah.
Nice. Michelle Yeoh is in it, and she's always great. It's always great to see her in something.
Kingsley.
Huh?
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley, yes. What a wonderful return for his character too. Yeah, like, especially compared to Iron Man 3. Mm-hmm. So it was, it's just so much fun to watch. Like, it's just a ride, and something that really does have a lot of rewatch value. So
yeah, and I think it's obviously much like Black Panther was for that community.
Yeah,
for the,
well, I mean, like the references to wuxia films is pretty obvious.
Yeah, and Jackie
I think
Chan
I mispronounced that.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Jackie Chan stuff too. Yeah, it's very. Like, they actually really, the director really wants to have Jackie Chan be in a sequel, yeah.
I see that.
It'd be fun.
Yes, that's my number 2 is Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it's like a good movie. Good times.
Mm-hmm. And our number 1...
Unanimous.
Pretty...
Let's go ahead
Drum roll.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home! Yay!
So... Since we haven't done a full review on this,
no,
we can actually go ahead and, since it's our number 1, we'll talk about this movie. And let me also say, full spoilers ahead.
Yes.
Because to truly proper talk about this movie, you basically
you gotta spoil.
So right now, if you've watched the rest of the thing and you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and click off. Go see the movie. It's freaking awesome. And then come back.
Safely.
Yes. And then see, then come back and watch our review.
All right.
So let's talk about this film.
This film that feels like it's been almost 20 years in the making.
I know, right?
There's so much legacy going into it.
So like I said before, up until this movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife was my number 1, and I still really love that movie. But if you are a Spider-Man fan of any of the movies, the comics, and all that, you will absolutely love this movie, because outside of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse thing, I've not seen such love for the Spider-Man character as well done. And I liked the other 2 movies okay, but to me, this truly gets it.
The MCU movies?
Yes, the MCU movies, yeah. I mean, I like the other ones too.
Yeah.
But like, in terms of just like truly who Peter Parker is as a character, and Tom Holland really gives his all in this movie.
He really does.
He's a really good young actor. I've seen him in other good things as well. And yeah, and the MJ character is handled well. Zendaya's really a good rising star and doing a lot of stuff. And of course, gotta love what's his face?
Ned,
yeah. Whatever that guy's name is. Yeah, he's fun. But obviously the big things of this movie is, the things that people have been looking forward to, which is the multiverse. Yes. And Doctor Strange is there, of course. And he's fun as well. But the multiverse, which brings us in our multiversal villains. And obviously, if you've watched the trailers, you've seen Green Goblin, you've seen Doc Ock, and Electro showing up. But Sandman's there too, and they have Thomas Hayden Church there, and they have the Lizard. And even though you mainly see him in lizard form,
Reese Fon did come back.
He did come back for it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Which I wasn't even expecting that.
Yeah.
And just
practically the Sinister Six.
Practically, yeah, almost there.
Almost there.
And then just to go ahead and give it to you guys, yes, you get Andrew Garfield, and yes, you get Tobey Maguire, and it's the way everyone reacted in the theater was such just a fun experience.
It was, great movie-going experience.
Both of them were great. Andrew Garfield especially, just, really, you can tell he was really enthralled to be there,
Yeah.
And so he was great. Tobey Maguire was fine too. It was good to see his character be sort of more mature.
Yeah, that was really nice, especially considering the note we left Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker on at the end of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Seeing him here as a mature adult man who is at peace with himself, who has centered himself, who is in a position where he can mentor and offer advice to the other two Spider-Men. Yeah. That was really cool to see. Mm-hmm. As someone who grew up on his trilogy, that was really cool to see him in that space. I think I actually liked his performance better than you did. Well, I mean, I heard some people calling.
I didn't say that at all. Okay, I was letting you know what some other people had said. Don't be putting words in my mouth, lady.
Putting words in your mouth. Putting words in your mouth. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, I guess in that case, in that case, I disagree with people who said that he felt flat. I felt he came across as calm and in control, and a sort of centering piece amongst the three Spider-Men, which was needed since Tom Holland's Spider-Man is in such a emotional quandary, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is still grieving the death of Gwen Stacy from The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So
it was a nice balance.
It was a nice balance.
Yeah, and well, from what I had heard, that Tobey Maguire didn't want to be in the spider suit the whole time. He wanted to still be Peter Parker.
Because he's in his 40s.
Yeah. So he still gets in the suit, which they make a funny joke about. But which I won't say in here. I don't want it. It's enjoyable in the theater to hear that line. But so it's not like he's not in the spider suit. But I think, and I can understand that too as an actor, But and Andrew Garfield, like I said, he plays the emotions well. Mm-hmm. There's some great scenes. Yeah. Weird with them as well.
I guess I'm Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, if to me it makes you appreciate the other Spider-Man films as well.
Yeah.
And see kind of
it made me want to go back and watch them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think at the same time it sort of slightly redeems a little bit of it too, because some of the, Spider-Man 3 ended off in such a bad way. And then The Amazing Spider-Man 2 just became so cramped. And, but I really think that
neither of them really got the send-off they deserved.
Agreed. Yeah.
Until now.
Apparently some Andrew Garfield stuntman is basically straight up saying they're going to make a third Amazing Spider-Man film now. Which I'm like, cool. So that'd be cool. Anyway, back to me. Anyway. But obviously, let's talk about what the villains again for a minute, because obviously you have Doc Ock back, which is great. Alfred Molina's great, and then Jamie Foxx's Electro gets he's not blue this time, so that's, he gets a little bit more to do. I said we mentioned Thomas Hayden Church and the Lizard and all that. But the cream of the crop, and one of the main reasons, especially for me, to see this film was seeing Willem Dafoe back as Goblin. Because, let me tell you, since I saw that first Spider-Man film and him playing Norman Osborn, this to me was just like a dream come true. Because I always kept thinking, like, well, they'll probably introduce somebody else to play Norman Osborn and be the MCU Norman Osborn and all that. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be hard to top Willem Dafoe. And it's like, he took his performance in that, and then he took it up another level. Because while those movies were, at their best point, were very campy, very 70s comic book.
Yeah, very Silver Age.
Yeah, Silver Age. This one definitely shows you he's truly is the Goblin. He's truly the villain. He's truly very sinister, so to speak.
Right. I've said it before, but like, one of the things I love about this movie is that it manages, because when those other films came out in like the 2000s, we were still coming off like that the X-Men thing of all like, wear all black, don't wear those silly comic book costumes, those look silly. And so like that did inform a lot of the costumes in the original Spider-Man trilogy, and in a lot of a lot of comic book films that came out in the 2000s. And this film takes that idea and is all like, no, let's actually take these original costumes and put it on and make it work on camera.
Exactly.
And it does, like they actually get Electro in his black and yellow outfit. Yep. And like there's a part where like he uses his powers to like spark up around his eyes so that it looks like the lightning bolt mask that he wears in the comic books, and it looks cool.
It does.
It's like, yes,
super cool,
that's good, woo. But this film acknowledged what we've always known, which is that Willem Dafoe never needed a Green Goblin mask, because there is nothing scarier in the world than Willem Dafoe's actual face. And I mean that in the highest complimentary regard.
Yeah.
Like, the way he warps his face in this film is amazing. Like, Jim Carrey would be watching that going, damn. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. And, it's just fun to see these characters back and interacting with each other.
Yeah,
and
because
actually,
you never got to. Because Doc Ock and Norman Osborn never got to interact.
Right, and now they it didn't get a lot of screen time, but their friendship was actually kind of sweet.
Yeah,
like their desire to like help each other heal. Like, it's like, aw. Mm. I hope you guys are well when you go back to your own universe, like,
indeed,
because Norman's gonna have some guilt issues.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's all like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And also like, because the whole idea is that Tom Holland's Peter Parker wants to, like, part of the conflict is that he wants to heal the villains. He wants to say, like, he realizes that if they go back, they're going to die.
Yeah.
And it's all like, well, what if I can fix that and save their lives? And it's like, that is such a Spider-Man thing to do, to want to save the lives of his own villains.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Totally true to the character.
Yeah, like that was just really,
And I think what also helped is that by the end of the movie too, you truly feel like he's truly Peter Parker, because the first two movies you just feel like, well, he hasn't really lost that much. He hasn't really, doesn't seem like he's down in his luck. He's going to this nice school and all this stuff. And this movie, by the end, truly,
he's lost everything.
Yeah, so it's like he's truly down on his luck, Peter Parker, and this is like, that's.
Yeah, it's like, yes, this is Peter Parker.
Yeah, this is like, now you truly are Peter Parker. You're not Iron Man Jr. or anything like that.
Gosh.
It's nice to get out of that shadow.
Right, yes. Because that's who Peter Parker was designed to be, is that he's not anyone's sidekick.
Yeah,
he's
someone, really.
He's someone who operates on his own, trying to do the right thing, while also trying to survive in the hellscape that is New York City. Like, that's really always been Peter Parker. And now like, we got a Tom Holland Peter Parker who's in that space, and he's playing it really, really well.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So yeah, definitely. I think that's pretty much the thoughts on that.
Yeah. So, it's awesome. Number one film of the year.
I would definitely see it again.
But be safe. Yes. Be safe about it.
Yes, be safe. Mm-hmm. Be safe.
Yeah. Omicron variant is flying over the city like Peter Parker, like Green Goblin. Yeah. There you go. Yes, that's what Omicron variant is doing.
Yeah. I like to do that laugh a lot.
I know. You're very good at it.
Thank you.
All right. So I think that's everything.
Cool. So those are our top 15 of the year of movies that we saw. There are probably a few more movies that I did see, but these are the ones I felt that stood out the most in terms of ranking and stuff. I could do a whole list of movies I saw that were not very good. But most of the ones I saw in the theater, at least, were at least enjoyable enough. I didn't feel like I walked out like, well, that waste of money,
Right, yeah, exactly.
And maybe I'll do a thing with streaming shows that I watch, but there's so many that I watched. It's here that it's going to be hard to rank them. But yeah, cool. So we got a lot of fun more things coming to this channel, and our Adam and Anna channel will have more things. We're going to go out of town next week because we were supposed to go out of town the past 2 weeks, but snow
happened, yes. So, we've been snowed in for like 2 weeks.
Post-Christmas, post-New Year's celebration with her parents and stuff. So that will be fun. Yeah. So we may not have any videos next week, so we figured we'd do something now. Yeah. So cool.
Yes, and if you like what you see, please give us that thumbs up and hit subscribe. And we have a sister channel, Adam and Anna, where we do comedy sketch shows. And if you want to support us over there, give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And leave a comment. We love to read your comments.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.